Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Speciale team for having us here. I'm Yeshwanth, and with me I have my co-founder Aditya standing there. And we are building intelligent drones for the rapidly evolving defense and security landscape. Now, before Unmannd, we both have spent over a decade building drones for primarily industrial use cases. I co-founded Aereo, which is today the country's largest drone mapping company, and subsequently F-Drones, based in Singapore, where we pioneered autonomous delivery drones for maritime logistics. But over the last 3 years, what we started noticing is something unprecedented happening. The defense and security landscape evolved faster than any other period in the past century, and no other event can clearly capture this shift than the Russia-Ukraine war. And so I'd like to begin there. In the early days of this conflict in 2022, roughly this is how the battlefield looked like. You have your traditional tanks, artilleries, and predominantly trench warfare dominated the whole battlefield. And if I had said that this is actually a scene from World War II, probably you wouldn't find a lot of difference, right? And naturally, Russia was the second largest military power back then. And you can see from these pictures, their mechanized columns stretching more than 30 kilometers across vastly open Ukrainian fields. And everyone thought, the world thought, that probably is going to be a very swift victory for Russia, a matter of weeks, if not days. But here we are in 2025. No one can clearly say who's winning this war. Certainly, this battlefield doesn't look like what it used to look back in the early days. You can see the large mechanized columns have become liabilities, and the drones have simply turned the front into a very transparent battlefield. Today, drones have far surpassed conventional arms as the battlefield's most lethal weaponry. The SOP simply has changed. You have brigades of pilots operating drones from remote shelters. You have improvised defenses. You can see some nets on these tanks or camouflaged decoys, all in desperate attempts to hide from ice in the sky. Now, the transformation has been quite massively fast. All of a sudden, it has forced all the defense forces around the world back to the drawing table to force them to rethink their strategy, to modernize their technology programs, and to overhaul their procurement plans for the upcoming decade. And this conflict has also erased the concept of frontlines. No more are the strategic assets that are deep inside any national territory are safe. They're all of a sudden vulnerable. And I mean, as an example, if you see, Ukraine simply wiped off a third of Russian entire cruise missile carrier fleet, probably worth over $7 billion in a single coordinated drone strike. And all of this, the fascinating thing is that all of this happened thousands of kilometers inside Russian territory, not at the front lines, but actually inside Russian territory. Now, certainly, the deployment has been quite transformational. In the last 12 months alone, the drone deployments have increased tenfold in just last 12 months. And the consequences are naturally very stark. 70% of all casualties today in this war are on the account of drones. What artillery was for World War II, drones are today. And just to give you a perspective about the scale, Ukraine produced 4 million drones last year. And this is a kind of manufacturing cadence we once used to probably associate with only small arms and ammunitions. And this effect is really global. The ripple effect is really global. Just recently, US announced a redirecting of about $50 billion in its 2026 defense budgets towards various drones and counter-drones procurement. And this is naturally redirected from their traditional conventional procurements. And even back home, when we had this recent conflict with Pakistan, of course, the conflict started with engagement of large number of fighter aircrafts, but very, very suddenly turned to be drone-centric. But one key insight from this conflict, post this conflict, is the fact that not one indigenously developed drone was able to cross our border, basically for various shortcomings on their technology, and which definitely led all of us to believe that probably as a country we are not yet ready for this new reality, and that's exactly what we are here to change. 7% of the global government spending is towards military expenditure. And we are at a monumentally important decade right now, which probably would have an generational effect, because every country, every defense force in the world is at the drawing table to rethink their strategy, rethink their technology programs and procurement policies for this new reality. And we are just at the beginning of this transformation. And naturally, one of the beauty of the defense tech is the fact that there's no ceiling on innovation. Every breakthrough would trigger a counter breakthrough, no artificial caps, no regulatory limits, so just a relentless drive to stay ahead. So as drones have become mainstream, so do have counter-drone systems, and that's where the gap is today. Most of the drones naturally rely on GPS for their operations, and the moment the GPS jamming systems or any electronic countermeasure systems are online, these drones simply fail to operate. And as an example, right, so during Operation Sindhu, the mission success rates drastically fell to 0% when some of the electronic countermeasures started kicking in. And that's, again, okay, this is a very interesting picture. Could anyone guess what this is about? So in order to evade jamming, pilots in some of the most recent conflicts started operating drones manually by sending data through optic fiber cables, and these are large number of optic fiber cables lying everywhere in vast open fields in Ukraine. That's a common scene you will find in the front lines of Ukraine. And these optic fiber cables could sometimes span about 50 kilometers or 60 kilometers, depending on where the pilot wants to operate. Naturally, there's a lot of operational issues there, but most importantly, the biggest risk is the pilot is going to give away his location if the optic fiber cable is found during his operations. That's exactly the frontier we are solving for at Unmannd. We are building intelligent drones that could perceive, operate without GPS wirelessly, coordinate in swarms, and make the most mission-critical decisions autonomously when operated in a contested environment. Due to our innovation on not just the software side, but the hardware side as well, we think our drones are capable of acting 3 times faster than anyone else out there. Just a small clip to show how we are solving the GPS jamming problem. Our computer vision system on board keeps on continuously compares what it is looking at with a pre-fed offline map, and combined with a few other sensors data and a bit of AI, we are able to localize our system without the need for any GPS and at much faster rates than anyone else in the world. And we have put all of this autonomy stack that we are building, that is powering our 2 product lines. The first platform is Titan. It's an autonomous high-altitude logistics aircraft. Today it can lift 30 kilograms of payload, even at 20,000 feet altitude. And in 2 months' time, this capability would increase to 60 kilograms of payload. And I'm particularly thrilled to share that this is now one of the 3 platforms in the country to be qualified by Indian Army for their most recent ongoing procurements. Thanks. And very soon, our autonomy stack will be deployed on Titan, making it the first delivery drone in the world to have the capability to navigate without GPS. And that's just a small video clip of its deployment or some of its operations in Leh-Ladakh region at about 18,500 feet. Now, second product is called as Fury. We are particularly excited about this. This is still under development, but we are strongly convinced Fury would simply change airspace security as we know of. This is a counter-drone interceptor system which can detect hostile drones and launch autonomous interceptor drones. Small drones are launched at about 300 kilometers per hour, and these drones would kinetically neutralize these hostile drones mid-air. With a protection range of about 30 kilometers, this is going to be a giant leap in counter-drone technologies as we know it today. And it's not just going to secure our borders. Fury would secure every critical asset. It could be energy production sites, it could be ports, airports, everything, and it would simply redefine. You can just think of it as the modern security layer for the modern airspace. And for the next 2 years, our aim is very simple. We want Titan and Fury to exceed 95% mission success rates when they are operated in environments where other drones simply fail today. And I would like to end it by saying a big thank you to Speciale team for believing in our mission at so early stage. I don't know if Vishesh is there. Vishesh, I would like to definitely say one thing. One thing that stood out from your conversations was that you always asked us to focus on long-term value creation rather than chasing short-term wins. We would definitely take that away. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.